My name is Hikaru. Today, I'd like to talk about this topic, beyond growth, rethinking Japan's path to environmental sustainability. I am currently working for a social venture in Kyoto, which is called On the Slope. I'm also serving as an adjunct associate professor at National Taiwan University. Okay, anyway, I'll talk about environmental sustainability. But why should we focus on Japan? It's not entirely clear, right? Because Japan is not seen as an environmentally progressive country. But still, I believe Japan offers insights into the path toward environmental sustainability. It's kind of interesting. For example, according to this ranking, Environmental Performance Index, Japan is lagging behind many European countries. That is true, but still, I believe there should be some lessons you can learn from Japan. Let me first introduce what is the mainstream response to environmental challenges. We have many challenges like climate change, right? And the most common response is green growth, which pursues economic growth while protecting the environment. So you have big economy and a good environment. That's perfect, right? It's beautiful, but the problem is that, as many recent papers suggest, green growth has struggled to deliver necessary reductions in environmental impacts. Then, of course, there are alternatives. One alternative is degrowth, which lowers economic standards in the global north to reduce environmental impacts. Because economic standards and environmental impacts are strongly correlated positively. So if we limit economic growth, then we can easily reduce environmental impacts. The logic is again very straightforward, but there are of course challenges. People cannot tolerate the decline in economic standards. Some people say so. One representative figure is Milanovic, who is an economist. And he says, people indeed can live happy lives with much less stuff. That is true for some special people like Christian or Buddhist monks, but this is not true for the remaining 99.99% of the people. Okay? But I believe Japan provides a counterexample. The long-term decline in economic standards in Japan has not led to a long-term decline in subjective well-being. Yes, subjective well-being was declined when Japan suffered from the bubble asset burst. But after that, subjective well-being levels recover to the original level, okay? And in the meanwhile, per capita environmental impacts have declined drastically. And this reduction is much greater than that of most European countries, okay? That is why I want you to focus on Japan. But what happened in Japan? According to my research, the concept of happiness has shifted. In what way? From independent happiness to interdependent happiness. These are two key concepts. So I will explain it later more. Yes. This is the slide. Independent happiness and interdependent happiness. This is independent. This is interdependent. There are 3 points I'd like to address. Who is happy? Do you need to be really excellent to be happy? And is economic growth necessary? Independent happiness is achievement-based happiness. So, and I should be happy. I am the subject. So one questionnaire survey to measure the level of independent happiness includes this statement. In most ways, my life is close to my ideal. Okay, there are two minds, right? And you should be really excellent. That questionnaire survey includes this statement that conditions of my life are excellent. And everyone wants to be excellent. That society really needs much resource. That is why economic growth is necessary. But interdependent happiness is relation-based happiness, relation. So we should be happy, not I. One questionnaire to measure interdependent happiness levels includes this statement. I believe I and those around me are happy. Other people matter here, okay? And you need not to be really excellent. That questionnaire includes this statement. Although it is quite average, I live a stable life, okay? And interdependent happiness is relationship-based happiness. So economic growth is not always necessary. Even if the economic size is pretty small or stable, still you can make a happy life, okay? Then next, then are there any data supporting my argument? People's concept of happiness shifted from an independent one to interdependent one. This is one example of such data. This long-term survey asked people, Japanese people, what is a good life? And now more people want to do something for others for their happiness. This is the people who chose they want to do something for others. This is the percentage of respondents who chose they want to do what they want, okay? Then you can see a clear increase for this one, do something for others. So relationship-based happiness becomes more prevalent. And another survey asked people, what is a good life? And more people want to live in harmony with others. X is year and Y is the percentage of respondent. There are 4 options. There is one that is increasing, this one, harmony with others. Harmony with others. So relationship again matters, right? More people emphasize happiness when they talk about happiness. Then this one has been declining. Plan for prosperity. You have your own plan, and based on that plan, you will make your life better. This has been declining. So more people want to live in harmony with others. So this data suggests a shift of people's happiness from independent one to interdependent one. But what does the shift look like from the ground? Fortunately, I live in Japan, so I have witnessed many elements that are aligned with the change in the concept of happiness. I chose some. Sumikko Gurashi from 2008, Kondo Marie from 2010, Satori Generation 2013, Demon Slayer 2016. Sumikko Gurashi are small creatures. They live in a marginal area and living in harmony with others like this. This is a big hit. Many people love Sumikko Gurashi, but I cannot imagine this could be a big hit when this was released in the 1980s. 1980s. At that time, achievement-based happiness was dominant. And this one, Kondo Marie, is a decluttering master. 人生がときめく片付けの魔法. People have so many stuff, but they may not be really happy. So a point is that let us reduce the number of things we have. And we have less, but we have a certain connection with those things. You can make your life happier. That's the point. And she has her own program in Netflix. And also she was elected as one of 100 people changing the world by Time. And Satori Generation. Satori is a Buddhist enlightenment. Okay? So his argument, the author Harada's argument is that young generations are like Buddhist enlightened people, like monks, because they don't want more. And Demon Slayer depicts a battle between an independent camp and interdependent camp. Independent camp is demon's camp, and interdependent camp is human's camp. Okay? You can see many things in Japan that suggest a shift in the concept of happiness. But let me introduce one really vivid example. Mr. Children, which is one of the most popular bands in Japan, but their lyrics have been changing drastically from independent one to interdependent one. This song, Endless Journey, released in 1999. Please read these lyrics. The higher the wall is in front of you, the better you will feel. Once you've made it through, keep searching because there's a better you out there. Okay? There's some challenge, but you will overcome it. That's the happiness. Independent, achievement-based happiness. But this song, released in 2008, you can see a shift in the concept of happiness. Even if I keep pursuing the dreams I envision, only a handful of people will reach them. Why am I trying so hard? I know why. There are people dear to me in this city. So I now do not know whether I can achieve my dream. But still, there are people dear to me in this city. That is a source of happiness. And another song in 2012 moves one step further. Under an artificial tree in a shopping mall, children are jumping up and down. Whoever sees that, their face is sure to light up. even if the tree is empty and lacks passion or dreams. It's something if it can heal someone. Okay, now I do not have passion. I do not have dreams. But still, if I can heal someone, that is great. Okay. There is no achievement-based happiness here. Only relationships can provide happiness here. Okay. So you can see a clear shift from an independent happiness to interdependent happiness here. Then what's the implication of Japan's case? There are several, but first, Japan suggests the possibility of degrowth. Milanovic said that degrowth is only possible for very special people, like Buddhist monks. But Japanese young generations are like Buddhist monks now. Okay? It's not that difficult to live like Buddhist monks. And importantly, Japan might not be an exception because young generations in East Asia do not want more now. This news article is from Hong Kong. 两岸三地年轻人都不再相信努力有回报, which means young people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait, which means China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. They no longer believe that hard work pays off. Okay, so achievement-based happiness does not make sense anymore, dear. Okay, so I suppose that they are now experience the same kind of shifting the concept of happiness. And the second implication is this. Japan presents an alternative mode of social change, which I may call quiet transition. If you say social change, particularly in Western contexts, you may think of French Revolution, climate protests. Yes, these are, of course, one model of social change. Yes, that is true. And I also think Japan or East Asian countries should learn from these cases. But Japan also suggests another mode, Satori, decluttering, sumikko gurashi. Okay? It's implicit and gradual, but within 2 decades, Japan's concept of happiness changed a lot. So this is another mode of social change from my perspective. And this is perhaps what Ness, the founder of deep ecology, wanted to see. And I'm now currently working in the food sector, my social venture. Why? Now, people want to live in harmony with others in Japan. So I'd like to include non-human beings into others to reconnect people with nature. And actually, in Buddhism, eating is one important part of training, which connects yourself with other people like cooks, farmers, and also nature, weather, water, everything. So this is what I'm doing. Yes, there has been a shift from an independent mode of happiness to an interdependent mode of happiness. But I'd like to add non-human beings there. That's why I'm now working in the food sector. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I forgot. These are conclusions. Japan suggests the possibility of degrowth. Japan presents an alternative mode of social change, quiet transition, and Japan may help you reimagine the path to sustainability. Okay, thank you very much.